The following video presentation is a production of RDK 3000 TriStar Video Studio Productions, a division of RDK 3000 TriStar, CR, 2025, EY 1025, RDKBSP. Please be advised that any sensitive and distressing subjects being requested are discouraged due to such acts after concerns of violence, dangerous acts, and due to respect. As those who request subjective scenes in question result in entire video presentation to be unlisted or age restricted, otherwise we reject the topic, including attacks on vulnerable including furries in diapers. Unless otherwise stated, animation, story and plot is a work of fiction, and based in KBE 224 and differs from plot in Kanbor Galaxy, as events, places, persons, and subjects are those of fictional type or are used in a fictitious manner. Websites and social handles mentioned are those of fiction unless otherwise stated. We have final minute in overtime. If it remains tied 5-5, it to go into shootout. Whoa. The Kanbor Maple Leafs player going by so fast.
This is the player comes from behind. He shoots. Blocked by Elito's number 16, the goalie. Quite a great save. This is it was darn close.
Yes, this with 46.8 on the game clock. This is for some reason. The video scoreboard has been changed to live feed on the countdown to the new Kanbor-spinel duodecimal year to occur at 3 o'clock p.m. Elite City, midnight KBTS. Thank God the other event in Kanbor-D City. Regarding esports match is concluded as it aired on Elito GRESP, and soccer match at Zendome next door yet to start, in which coverage on now on Elito Sports 1.
Yes. Balo Epic Gamer wins 3-2 against Smurf Galaxy, and Elite City Firestorm vs Rexer FC now scheduled at 3:12 and 800, with rooftop closed to deter fireworks.
Yes, as it's a must, as it's 2:59 p.m. Elite City and 23:59 KBTS. Final minute to new Dozz year. Face off by Crate from Elitos, and Scout from KML. Scout wins the face off. This is for some reason. When I check studio clock and the game clock on scoreboard, I must affirm, the game clock is within pair to the countdown clock to the new Dozz year, 1-2A. It could be problematic for the final seconds of, well, Elitos now imposes Zion of the puck.
30 seconds left into overtime. This is shaky, want the game to end toward the new Dozz year to give Kanbor Maple Leafs a lesson. Kanbor swiped the puck from Crate. He heads to one side to make a goal. Missed by long shot, now in possession onto Crate from the Elko.
This is Crate goes for all in. This is he goes toward Elito's side, in final seconds in overtime, and new Dozz here. Hand off to Shaky. Oh my god. Shaky gets sneaky.
He shoot, he score.
Seoyo. Goal. Ciao. Ilito's win. Ao's window. 6-5. Hexa Ti Penta.
Hat trick by number 88. Shaky. Assisted by 64. Craig. This with 3.0 seconds. Whoa. Oh my god. Unbelievable action by Kanboranto. They're celebrating that this for other subject.
Good thing this occurs seconds after the game ends. Otherwise would be 10-minute game misconduct penalty for unsportsmanlike conduct. This as they're celebrating the new Kanbor-spinel Dozzy year of KB.SDY 1 gross 2 dozen deck in dozen or 178 in base 10. As I said earlier, game clock on PAR with countdown clock to new Dozzy year. This while the Alitos celebrate but for their win, but more grand as they clinch a spot to the LHA Alito IC Cup 2025 EY 1025 playoffs. Ryo-S Cryptor do note the subject on upper monitor of Alito Plaza Center, some triple-deck stunt, but that gets auto-censored, thank God, as that is not shown to public as it would have been offensive, in addition to action by opponent of Elite City Alitos, thank God hockey game is over. As they over-celebrate the new Kanbor-spinel dozenal year however does it differently than the Alitos as the Alitos also celebrate but in a safe way, after such win in overtime. And clinch the National Hockey Playoffs this as I must get a hold of Trexer for the schedule in addition to the one in RDKF 1 MOS 2 gross 9, or 2025, EY 1025, or EYDZ 7 gross 1 dozen 5, NHL Stanley Cup Playoffs, and remaining fixtures in regular season. Even the Gaia counterpart gets held in the Gaia Hockey Tournament. Team from Gambino wins the tournament for the 1 MOS 2 gross 9, EYDZ 7 gross 1 dozen 5 series. EYDZ 7 gross 1 dozen 5, 1 MOS 2 gross 9. Assumingly in duodecimal, dozenal, this is I mark Z cryptor, mark Zaniels must convert to decimal, current year, 2025, EY 1025, this is the current spinel Dozzy year is now 1 gross 2 dozen deck meaning 178 as I do note when news media and others mention it, in Ryopia is 1-2 and upside down 2. As with the Alito Plaza Center in the video countdown by the DSE, Dozenal Society of Ilitopia, as here in Ilitopia and TDU for most it's 1-2A, in Kanbor is 1-2X, as in Wixar and Webchester, is 1-2 and the script style X or the Greek symbol chi, some refer as 1-2T, as 11, L, some call as ELE. Or what I call as Elef, is B, or E in standard, or in script form in which resembles upside down 3 in script form, or the upside down 3 or the Greek symbol sigma. Yes, Mark Z Cryptor, Mark Zaniels as I Corey Z Cryptor, Corey Zanders do also note, the time when the video countdown starts presenting at T-2 minutes 30 minutes to event, being 6 dunatims in TGM, as we call as 6 marks. That is 6 seconds longer than the dozenal being 1 gross 6 or 150 seconds, 2.5 minutes, about 173.666 kino chois rounded to the mino choi, 4 decinutes 16 and 2/3 decions. I must note that I, Mark X Cryptor to listen to soccer match on the radio, however I won't be spectating as Max to spectate, this as he heads east to Zendome, I to head north, then west to Kanbortronics Street toward 1S-Libment in my 2024 Flex HX, CR. PHEV plug-in hybrid crossover, but I must head to gas station first, but I am good on charge and fuel, to get some windshield washer fluid as the washer fluid level is low, also to vacuum station as Mickey X Cryptor have my handheld cordless vac, as his is being charged. To vacuum my crossover especially the seats, maybe check on tires and to fill it with air if needed, as I do have my digital tire pressure gauge. I do heard the horn, as I check my rear view, Mickey X Cryptor. Enable two-way communication with Mickey X Cryptor. Mickey?
Mark, do not head to the vacuum station, as I to give you back your cordless handheld vac as the batteries on mine is charged up as yours are also charged up. You to refuel or charge up.
Mickey, no. I am only to get windshield washer fluid.
Oh, this is I to get it also.
Yes, Mickey X Cryptor. Where is Ricky?
With his dad Rocky, and for Hydrox?
With Orgamai. This and the rest of the squad, and the owners and parents are at Chicken Hut.
I must note, I wonder where you get the handheld cordless vac, as I noted when you have the portable handheld air compressor. Is it rechargeable and where you get it? And who are you? I am Wawatooki.
I am Mark X Cryptor, Mark Zarkshaw from RDK 3000 TriStar, as this is my bro Mickey X Cryptor, Mickey Zarkshaw. Yes, it is rechargeable, it is sold at the Zemmart, also at Delta 6 and other selected retailers, even at NOS.
NOS? What is that?
Nitro Octave Signer G. Automotive parts and accessories supply shop down the road to the east toward Alito Burgers and Thunder Scope. Note the weather radar. Then note the intersection. Turn left toward north.
I do note, as I to head to NOS to get said vac and air compressor, and for accessories for my 1995 Honda Desol SI.
What? That car is like 40 years old. How do you maintain to preform?
Yes, as I am curious on number of kilometers or kina nitros driven, on the odometer. $324,000 kilometers. 810,000 kina nitros, 382,393.6 Kia matros. Since the car was first sold to Corgitopian fellow 40 years ago today, as I checked vehicle VIN, 8,100 kilometers per year on 324,000 kilometers. 810,000 kina nitros,
kilometers,
382,393.6 Kia matros. Since the car was first sold to Corgitopian fellow 40 years ago today, as I checked vehicle VIN,
Honda Desol during car show last year in what used to be Trex City. Trex Land, now part of Elite City's Trex District. 324,000 Trex Land dollars, about 80,000 miles, about 201,325 kilometers. Must factor to TGM and Prime unit, as I also note the 1995 Honda Desol during car show last year in what used to be Trex City. About 11.64 inches in one Trex district, equal to close to 4,000 Trex Land dollars, about 80,000 decimal places. 118.1 centimeters, in kilometers, 46.5 must factor to TGM and Prime units, as a kilometer equals to 2.29 centimeters, 1 most 3 gross to a foot, about 11.64 inches in 1 gross length equal to close to 4 graph dozen 0.3 L1 length to 2 decimal places, 1.L 118.1 centimeters, 46.5 inches, so based on odometer. 324,000 kilometers, 2.5 kina equal to 2 gross 6 dozen 3 gross 5 dozen 2.007 grapha and 3 dozen decmos 7 dozen 7 dozen 0.5 dozen 2.4 being 1.L5 dec trina grapha and 0.5 dec 6 8 pen qual lengthals so based on odometer. 324,000 kilometers equal to 2 gross 6 dozen 6 it means 158,793 trina grapha qual lengthals 7 dozen 734,124 pen qual trina grapha rounded to a tenth of a unit.
What?
Whereas
No
Ryo
wonder
set it to a
Ryo
twelfth of a
scripter
unit in
speaks
duodecimal.
or dozenal.
I do
Trexer,
know what Ryo
what does it
scripter
mean
said.
in
A
base
graph
10?
is like a yard and
In
an
base
inch
10,
is about a
it means
12th of graph. As I must note the units and prefixes of the duodecimal system of the two systems, TGM and primal systems,
trina
and
grapha
conversion
rounded
from
to a
common
tenth of a
and Alito
unit,
measurement
whereas
system
Ryo
for
set
the
it to a
kilometer and
twelfth of a unit in
kinanitro.
duodecimal.
Even the imperial unit for
I do
miles.
note what Ryo
Even the
scripter
duodecimal
said.
system
A graph
itself
is like a yard and an inch is about
I
a
do
12th of
note
graph.
time is a 10,
As I must note
as 1
the
times
units and
negative 4
prefixes
to
of
the
the
duodecimal
duodecimal
system,
being
of
what
the two
the
systems,
DSC,
TGM and
Society
primal
of
systems,
Alitopia calls,
and conversion from
EDOI
common and
laws.
Alito measurement
Some
system
say
for the
as
kilometer and
Kadri of the
kinanitro.
hour as a gross
Even the
tim.
imperial unit for
Dunitim
miles
is 25
even the
second,
duodecimal
as a
system
trini
itself
tim
is 5 minutes.
I do note
Kadri-tim is
time
an
is a
hour
tim,
as I was given
as 1
tour
times
of the
negative 4
establishment
to
at
power
10
of
o'clock
12 of hours
a.m. this morning.
being what the DSC,
being Zen
Dozinal
Kadri-tim
Society
since
of
midnight as I
Alitopia
call it as
calls,
Zen o'clock as I need to
EDOI
know the
laws.
rest. Some say as Kadri of the hour as a gross tim. Dunitim is 25 second. As a trini tim is 5 minutes. Kadri-tim is an hour as I was given tour of the establishment at 10 o'clock a.m. this morning. Being Zen Kadri-tim since midnight as I call it as Zen o'clock as I need to know the rest.
Every hour, on the hour, this is the 24-hour news beat.
Alex, where are you heading to?
To be a Little Plaza Center.
This week's Synergy Spring Gamer Jam 2025, EY1025, including the LAN party?
No. I am heading to Chicken Hut to pick up order I made on my phone via app but to pay at cashier. However Mitchell, being Kraken is already there as with my and his relative. But they are at a Lido DG Arena Esports Arena for the LAN party. However, I must have to charge up my electric scooter upon arrival as the battery is down to 25% state of charge as indicated on the gauge, as I do have the charging cord at hand in the storage as I do eat then head to the boutiques to shop.
Every hour, on the hour, this is the 24-hour news beat.
This is VWG2N on Arrow and silumcast on RDK 3000 TriStar television service. I am Mark E. Cryptor, Mark Elitastar over at RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline News Center at Studio RDE at the RDK 3000 TriStar main HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Ilitopia, and also Mark J. Phelps, Sister Tracy P. Cryptor, Tweety. Tracy Phelps, Robert James, Andrew James, and Melissa Katzenzion at the EDA at Elito Plaza Center.
I am Chris K. Cryptor, Jakur, Chris Kaistar, the latest at this hour. The VWGT hosts are now at the EDA as we to hand off to them soon as they are busy prepped to go on air as I and Mark takes over for a minute or two as we have a report on the latest on esports match gamer battle in Xenopolis City however in moments but we begin with the action occurring tonight at the EDA, this being a LAN party that gets underwent since this afternoon in which was first covered on VWGT and RDK 3000 TriStar Today Blitz.
Phew, made it, as I had to power off the EV system, get out the charging cord and plug it in after I tap my card onto the charger as it would only take 20 to 30 minutes to charge up, as I had to get off my scooter, take off my helmet and goggles, put down the kickstand, and lock it.
Corey Sansar should have chose another video game for the VWG2N cast. If they go ahead with the one, then it is highly likely RDK TV, Jinx Vision, and Trex Vision 8 to cut out of VWG2N silumcast as the networks to air according to programming schedule. Trex Vision 8, Trex 8 News Prime. Jinx Vision, JinxNet silumcast. RDK TV, RDK TSRT Prime, or either air its sister networks. If it airs RDK Tunes, then I must have to immediately stop DVR as I do not want Looney Tunes on my DVR at unit at my house as I to do it remotely. What? DVR recording stopped already? By Tiffany J. Cryptor? She must have learned the subject as she told me via messaging as I grab out my Pocket Mate after checking into schedule of 3 networks, as she told me of subject however I better set it to TV mode, and tune from Arrow Vision to RDK TV. Maybe switch to Trex Vision 8 if Looney Tunes gets aired via silumcast of RDK Tunes. To get latest news then back to RDK TV at 8 for RDK TSRT Prime.
This is my friend to play the video game, Hell Door Doom's Frenzy.
What?
As it to be showcased in VWG2N cast within this half hour.
Eep.
Game on!
Hell Door Doom Frenzy? Bro Scott Alito Star, does it include some scary scenes, including jump scares, and screamers?
Yes!
I knew it. For Arrow viewers, we hand off back to the hosts. As for RDK TV viewers, this as subject includes some jump scare scenes and screamers, in which comes into problems as we are suspending VWG2N silumcast for this hour. As we must pass an RDK 3000 TriStar television service programming alert to you. As a result of this, remainder of this hour's edition of VWG2N on RDK TV will not be seen. To repeat, remainder of this hour's edition of VWG2N on RDK TV will be preempted. This as the silumcast is halted for remainder of the hour. This due to VWG2N cast on live gameplay of video game in which is inspired to FNAF. In which includes some scary subjects in which is disallowed to be showcased on RDK 3000 TriStar television service, including those of jump scare despite jump scare warning to the viewer via verbally and via news banner and the graphic on top right. Although showing such content is banned as per RDK 3000 TriStar broadcast policy as per RDK TSR code, this during tonight's LAN party at Alito DG Arena. The show to resume at 2100 hours RDK ELC hour after RDK TSRT Prime. Ion Neo GR Vision and Aero ESP Net also paused the silumcast and devote silumcast of Zeno ESP on all Xenopoly and CJE Sports match of RazDoz tournament until after match end ETA 2030 RDK ELC and to return to VWG2N. However, Trony Explosi Vision, KB.SDY, and Jinx Vision has since terminated the silumcast and never returned to the show as they air amended programming in the case for Jinx Vision, silumcast Jinx Net toward Jinx News 10 o'clock and Trex Vision 8 airing Trex 8 News evening earlier than expected. This is initial report that Trex Vision 8 was to terminate as well, but we learned directly from network, in a correction notice to RDK 3000 TriStar, also to pause the silumcast until 2030 RDK ELC. This is for RDK 3000 TriStar television service. We will hand off to sister coverage RDK Tunes for the following program aired from the fellows of Warner Brothers Animation, part of Warner Brothers, was under Warner Communications Entertainment Company. Now is Warner Brothers Discovery, Bugs Bunny Roadrunner Show, from 1981, EY0981, rating EL, G, suitable for all audiences, joined in progress, I to break in if news breaks or any programming notices arises, including VWGT status updates. I am Mark Cryptor signing off as we hand off to RDK Tunes until 2000 hours RDK ELC for RDK TSRT Prime. You are watching RDK 3000 TriStar television service. Goodbye.
This is my friend to play the video game, Hell Door Doom's Frenzy.
What?
As it to be showcased in VWG2N cast within this half hour.
Eep.
Game on.
Hell Door Doom Frenzy? Bro Scott Alito Star. Does it include some scary scenes, including jump scares, and screamers?
Yes.
I knew it. For Arrow viewers, we hand off back to the hosts. As for RDK TV viewers, this as subject includes some jump scare scenes and screamers, in which comes into problems as we are suspending VWG2N silumcast for this hour.
This is my friend to play the video game, Hell Door Doom's Frenzy.
What?
As it to be showcased in VWG2N cast within this half hour.
Eep.
Game on.
Hell Door Doom Frenzy? Bro Scott Alito Star. Does it include some scary scenes, including jump scares, and screamers?
Yes. This is my friend to play the video game, Hell Door Doom's Frenzy.
What?
As it to be showcased in VWG2N cast within this half hour.
Eep.
Game on. This is my friend to play the video game, Hell Door Doom's Frenzy.
What?
As it to be showcased in VWG2N cast within this half hour.
Eep.
Game on.
Hell Door Doom Frenzy? Bro Scott Alito Star. Does it include some scary scenes, including jump scares, and screamers?
Yes.
I knew it. For Arrow viewers, we hand off back to the hosts. As for RDK TV viewers, this as subject includes some jump scare scenes and screamers, in which comes into problems as we are suspending VWG2N silumcast for this hour. I am Mark Star Trex over at Trex 8, News Center at Trex Media Synerg Studios at Elitotronics Telemedia HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Elitopia, with the Trex Vision 8 programming notice. We at Trex Vision 8 are also pausing the VWG2 and silumcast as we do not want some jump scares to be present via live gameplay on the air, as we alerted Ryo and Trexer Trinity that the silumcast to be paused as per discretion of Trex Media Synergy and to return for the final 90 minutes of the show. To return at 8:30 p.m. Elite City. If anything happens during the VWG2N broadcast, including jump scares, screamers, and such during live VWG2N cast gameplay of Held or Doom Blitz, that disrupts VWG2N production, we will let ya know. In an event the show gets to conclude, then we to terminate the silumcast for the evening, as we are on Trex watch from Ryo, Trexer Trinity, and the distributor. Our affiliate RDK TV, while our sister network Jinx Media terminates silumcast on Jinx Vision to silumcast JinxNet, as silumcast on Trony Explosi Vision and KB.SDY also gets terminated. However, Ryo ESPnet and Ion Neo GR Vision paused the silumcast and devotes esports coverage for remainder of match from Xenopolis City, Xenopolia in map 5 in best of 5, Tron Laurent, XCQNOXE, map score tied 2-2 early in map 5, and to return to VWG2N at end of match. As Trex 8 news starts now. This is Trex 8 News Prime. I am Mark Star Trex over at Trex 8 News Center at Trex Media Synerg Studios at Elitotronics Telemedia HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Elitopia. We welcome to viewers on Breeze Vision 3, and radio listeners on Trex Radio 100/65 and Breeze Radio 100/55 in silumcast. The headlines tonight. Fireworks went off in Silver City, Wawatooki, in which set off 24 hours too soon for the Wawatookian New Year, blamed on timing error as system clock was off, ahead by 24 hours. Things were quickly corrected and resolved within minutes after manual synchronization to master clock server. However, no wonder Mark Zaniels and Corey Zanders brought the said ice cream I enjoy, Altronic and made for 8 sickles. 1 Elio 25 above the item that is being taken off the shelves, as I do see associate approach. Why does it cost 360 Elios, normally like 2 Elios 10, and why the product gets flagged for tariff and recall?
Concerning recall, this due to unwanted substance in which was mistakenly added when manufacturing and which made some consumers sick and which result in public warning by the Food Agency and Department of Public Health warning not to consume. As for the other subject, this due to tariffs imposed by Youngeston President Ronald Zayrump, in which threatened to impose 1,000,000% tariffs on Elitopian and Tronic diamond goods, in which gets attention to Tronic diamond as the answer is not a tariff war, as the response is not tariffs but nuclear bombs, and nuclear bombardment to Youngtopia result in destruction. However, the stocks fell on 10th, but for Elitopian, Xenopolian and Tronic diamond market made U-turn and closed flat. As for the TDUID, is break even for the month, even Zwathican stocks too, with minor upside bias closing day and week strong, as Zwathican stocks suffered the worst. As the Prime Minister has been ousted, an election called for May 2025, as in replacement to be some new item from Tronic confirm, to cost the same as with the item on upper shelf, beside the item that is on sale, 3 for 2 Elios.
I would want those.
Okay, one of each to be in your cart, is the rest to be placed on the shelves.
This is I to get the said ice cream made by Elitopian and Kanbor-spinel firms as well. My brother Mark to make something with blender/mixer combo at my in his house, once purchased, as he needs the ice cream right away. This is I get the mint chocolate ice cream, this is I check the capacity. 1 liter. I do note the 2-liter ones cost like 1 Elio 80 but 2 for 3 Elios plus and double the sign rewards points earned, in sale. Mark AKT, why you taking over the cart? I to take over some grocery shopping, you go head to KaiBuy to get something for me, being RGB smart lamp, the one that costs 30 Elios, discount from 40, also to get the covers for my and your smartphones, while at it, demo the radio and TV with your phone. As we want to know if it's compatible with our phones. Okay, as I to put the ice cream in the cart, then head to my car. Opt in for e-receipt alongside physical receipt, and send the e-receipt to me. Initial airing on RDK Tunes, Friday, March 28, 2025, Mulodes Gamma 26 EY 1025, ED086, first airing, Elitish translation via voiceover, Ron Shokin, Jinx Media. Elitish captions, Mickey Shokin, Jinx Media. Kanberlish native captions, Robert X Cryptor, RDK Cam, Kanbor City. Kiplianish, Munish, Elito Mick'x captions, Ruba K Cryptor. Original CR, 1981, EY0981 Warner Brothers. Television, a Warner Communications company. Post-distribution CR, 2024, EY1024 Jinx Media. Additional credits via vocal, Mickey D. Cryptor, Shaker, Mickey Daniels. Distribution for RDK Tunes and silumcast on RDK TV Main, CR, 2025, EY1025 RDK 3000 TriStar Television Studio Productions, a division of RDK 3000 TriStar, all rights reserved. Initial airing on RDK Tunes, Friday, March 28, 2025, Muloda's Gamma 2060 Y1025, ED086, first airing, Elitish translation via voiceover, Ron Shawkin, Jinx Media. Subject just cleared, unmuting audio and uncovering subject. For some reason, duodecimal now XNE. I must note TRIPLE-DEK on TGM, CD, as I to grab my Alito Cola from my backpack and checking the clock. Yeah, at least the gameplay concludes without setting off the arrow system thanks to producers who take action in which cuts to VWG2 and chem of the EDA in which occurs at split second before the jump scare in which in some instances set off the auto sensor but was not shown on air. This is I to show you this, as this is inspired to the Bloxy the Hunt Mega Final to occur on the 4th of the next month as I to preview the updated countdown theme to the subject, as I got it synced to the countdown to New Grand.
I must note, Ryo duodecimal timekeeping, upside down 2 and 3?
Yepers.
Judging by the countdown and target time, I must note one subject to fire at 7:55 p.m. Elite City and 27.4 seconds as our producers must be on guard for this. This being TGM Countdown alongside minutes and seconds and trocans, being Tim with 12 dozen Tims being 25 seconds, a tick, 12 groove and at least being 5 minutes, 1 grade.
Yes, however subject must be censored version as the ribbon should go over the breasts. Air, briefly muting the audio, covering subject with browser window. Initial airing on RDK Tunes, Friday, March 28, 2025, Muloda's Gamma 2060 Y1025, ED086, first airing, Elitish translation via voiceover, Ron Shawkin, Jinx Media. Elitish captions, Mickey Shawkin, Jinx Media. Kanbor native captions, Robert Duodecimal, RDK Kanbor-spinel, Kiplianish, Munish, Elito Mick'x captions, RDK Cryptor. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Auto-censor television, a Warner community. This due to nudity, I must note, as this definitely does not occur on TRIPLE-DEK on Kanbor-spinel duodecimal countdown to new universal day, but on Ryo duodecimal counterpart being T-TRIPLE-DEK Tims. Even though I am a fan of Looney Tunes as I watch it once I was young, even my father when he was young. EY1025 RDK 3000 TriStar Television Studio Productions. No wonder silumcast occurred on RDK TV, in which VWG2N normally airs, I suspect due to VWG2N cast, in which RDK TV does not wait it on the air on its channel, as DVR recording is to be wrapping up via RDK Tunes. Now I learn, VWG2N episode gets cut short due to what I call stupidity recountdown video, in which needs immediate edit, that my friend, Corey Sansar, showcased it during LAN party. Even I review during video call, I told him, it needs to be edited big time. This while I demo the televisions and said radio at KY by using my smartphone via app, but I already have one television and the radio in my room at my house, as it is being set up tonight as my family brought it this afternoon. Good thing that TV is on sale, 295 Ethiopian Elios, normally 420, even the radio is half off. However, the television I have for my room is smaller than the one on display, as it comes in various sizes. This being the one on the stand. However, the two televisions was tuned to RDK TV, as I had to manually tune one TV to Aerovision while one radio tuned to radio audio silumcast of RDK TV, in which is the one I have for my room. Now I do note, the alternate programming notice slide for Aerovision uses the theme music for RDK TSR Newsday, and background from NX24. Yeesh, as I learned earlier, to be used in event of auto-censor during VWGT or VWG2N and not during RDK TSRT, or silumcast of Ilito News 24 Deck Mill on RDK TV, or when Marky and Zaker being on air. Even the VWGT closing ident? This while RDK TV uses the default programming notice slide and closing ident. This, as I do note, RDK TSRT Prime is up next, on Aero, and RDK TV. This while I to get something, then cash out, and head to my car, being something for my laptop tablet combo, a decent cover and screen protector and new stylus pen. That usher must be fired. I mark Kilito Trexter note, the usher has been fired, as I heard Jared Raystars shouting, "You're fired."
Yes, this is I sister Crystal also note, this also distracts our dog as she was barking as well.
I did not note I was inches close from the dog, otherwise the dog would have been hurt or drowned. Other than that, I to head to my car, and to chase down the 2025, EY1025, Flex Trex Roadster PHEV plug-in hybrid e-hybrid RS, as the car also is offered in gas but rear-wheel drive only with auto, clutchless sequential even manual with clutch, in which my brother Rick drives. Even mild hybrid 48 volt, also electric and normal hybrid. This is I to meet with Daniel AKT on his other car, the Toyota AE86, in which I saw his pics on social media. He added some CNG and hydrogen support, also run on ethanol alongside gas through ice, and 6-speed clutchless sequential semi-auto replacing 5-speed manual with clutch. The AE86 for some reason was previously owned by Itsuki Takashi from Sistika, Nippon Land, who went to Ilitopia since late 2020, in which gets seized after illegal street race Halloween of 2023 and sold in police auction to Daniel AKT for 10,000 Elios. This is I drive my 2025 TRD mild hybrid, 6-speed monol with clutch, 2.0-liter turbo, inline 4, rear-wheel drive. I must have to redo the project as the staff deleted the media files, even the project from my USB thumb drive. Thank God, the subject is saved to cloud drive as I to do some edit once I download. Anyhow, nearing 8 bells, Choi, and Desi Newt 0 on April 28, 2025 and Gamma 27th, EY1025 on a Friday and Priyadas evening as I tune car radio to RDK TV audio radio silumcast for RDK TSRT Prime.
This is RDK 3000 TriStar today. I am Chris K. Crypter.
And I am Mark E. Crypter. Broadcasting live and direct from RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline News Center over at RDK 3000 TriStar Main HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Ilitopia.
We are powered up always on all RDK networks, television, radio, streaming and more. The latest at this hour. We welcome to the viewers of Aerovision and Aerobreeze in simulcast as we begin with an RDK 3000 TriStar television service. Aerovision and Aerobreeze programming alert off the top. Tonight's VWG2N airing gets cut short over on-air incident regarding nudity that sets off the Elitotronics telemedia autosensor system.
This occurring on TRIPLE-DEK, AAA, XXX, being 1,570 units to new grand/universal day, but not on the Kanbor-spinel and duodecimal but in TIMS and TGM. Ryo-Dozz++ timekeeping as it's the first instance ever in Elitopian television history being less than 4.5 minutes, via demo of countdown video to be used for event next month on April 4th, 2025 and Delta 2nd, EY 1025. Yes, this is it's no April Fool's joke as it's real that in which to occur March 31st, 2025 on a Monday evening toward 2000 hours, midnight Universal Time on Tuesday April 1st, 2025, for the happy new month of Ryo-Dozz++ and Trex of 3rd Ryo-Dozz+ month, Trin Zion of RY.DZY 4,007 or 55. Into Ryo Week 1,001, or 13, and Alpha Quadrix, TX.Y 25, 5 hours after Kanbor-D counterpart of Quartz and KB.P20, and 4 hours toward the other event at BTSQ in Bloxland for April 2025 and second quarter of the year, being Gamma 30th, EY 1025 on QuadDiz, and Ryazon, Trinsol 19. RY.E65, 2 days toward start of Delta EY 1025 on Neolotus and Wednesday on April 2nd. Yes, Ryo Scripter, this is Trexer Learn, the fellows at DSE and the DSR to do joint video countdown to the subject evening on 31st and likely to be televised, this while there's some video countdown that gets played in TGM TIMS as primary playing in demo. Yes, on Aero platform, during VWGT, in appreciation of Roblox The Hunt Mega Final coverage on the 4th, however the one by the DSR and DSE to be different, to be similar to the new Kanbor-spinel dozenal year countdown afternoon on 19th. I must determine timing to be in sync, this while, eep. I heard such. Thank God for the beep. If that occurs in Bloxy Federation, he would be. Yes, Trexer, this is there's nudity on the monitor, some semi-nude CGI female showing her back, in which appears, and on the TRIPLE-DEK TIMS on TGM Countdown to 72-hour signal to HNM Ryo-Dozz+, the figure rotated half-turn showing her breasts while zooming in. That led to auto-censor on Aerovision and the staff noting it and going to person, that TRIPLE-DEK act on Ryo-Dozz+ timekeeping type H and TGM duodecimal countdown. On T-DEK Graz, DEK dozen DEK TIMS to hour 0 to mark Universal Day. In Elito and TD is AAA, in Ryo is 222 upside down, but in Kanbor, is XXX in which leads to an SFW content that leads to auto-censor on TV. This being stupidity to Ryo-Dozz+ timekeeping on NSFW content, as this gets blamed on stupidity in which acts as VWG2N on Aero. I mark Star Trek's must break in as we must pass you a programming notice. This is Ryo Scripter from RDK 3000 TriStar said as he observed, as we also learn from sister network Aero and by our producers, that we will never return to VWG2N silumcast after Trex 8 news as VWG2N episode gets to be cut short on the subject Ryo said, on subjective content involving nudity that result in auto-censor. In video countdown showcase on TRIPLE-DEK on duodecimal countdown but not on the Kanbor-spinel method but in TGM dozenal measurement time system called a TIM being TRIPLE-DEK, 1520 TIMS. being 4 minutes 32.6 seconds toward 3-day notice to subject. Trexer and Ryo mentioned as subject occurred on time shown on the video monitor beside me, in which I also verbally say to radio listeners, 7:55 p.m. and 27.4 seconds, Elite City and L dozen L Dito 667, RDZ-D, 1 dozen L, L dozen 1. 1 dozen 2, RDZ-H, as that is on-air violation. In addition, Aero producer looked at breasts on monitor and said the offensive remark. The triple-dek being AAA in Alito TD and Trex, triple 2 upside down in Ryo and in Kanbor, XXX in which is subject involving porn, sex and nudity. We to be taking a programming break. I am Mark Star Trex as Trex 8 News will be right back.
This is RDK 3000 TriStar today. I am Chris K. Crypter.
And I am Mark E. Crypter. Broadcasting live and direct from RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline News Center over at RDK 3000 TriStar Main HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Ilitopia.
We are powered up always on all RDK networks, television, radio, streaming and more. The latest at this hour. Take note. Ryo S. Crypter and Rex Z. Crypter. Of event at 1500 RDKELC. Today. This is you must have heard of a 24-hour television news channel from Silver City, Corgitopia being CJ News 24. This is you also note the divisional leader of RDKCJP being Sarah J. D. Crypter. Sugar B. Sarah Jane Desilu.
She oversees master operations of RDKCJP. You must have added her to your contacts as with her fellow, Tronix, Stefan A.T. Crypter, Stefan Altronitrap from RDKATR in Altronic City, Tronica, and Rex X Crypter, Rikikan, Rex Zarkers of RDKkin from Kanbor-D City. Kanbor-D Federation Republic, in which he is cousins of Mark X Crypter, and Mickey X Crypter, also Richard X Crypter. Yes, this is Trexer have them in my and his contacts. Yes. This is Zaker and Marky just finished their lunch, as we to have lunch ourselves soon. This is Ryo note. I do note jacket Mark X Crypter wears, in which Trexer sometimes also wears. This is for you Mark X Crypter. What is the purpose of the jacket? Well, it's a high reflectivity jacket. Back in 4th quarter 2023, I started wearing the jacket, as my companion Hydrox partnered with me to tackle down folks who willing to what I call, to Trex Casper, and the squad. Anyhow, it also acts as windbreaker and rain jacket. this as it has since begun to rain hard since 11:25 as the MSE has issued a rainfall warning for Elite City Metro, Level 1 Amber, until 12:15, 40 mm per hour rainfall rate and wind gusts to 60 km per hour. This is my jacket also have an embedded skirt, as I to put on my rain boots and carry my umbrella, and head to my car, as you go head to your cars as you go put on your rain gear as you two to follow my car. This is organized with Hydrox while I am on the road. You should note the Kanbor duodecimal system update, replacing the X and E with Z and L, as we to head to Kanbor Telemedia Elitopian Bureau to talk on the representative, then have lunch as it's Saturday as I to take a break from work until 13:30. However, I Ryo must ask, on the squad, being RD-Trex kids, I do note they wear such diapers, why do they wear the subject 24/7, or RDK/Dozz++? I mark to explain once we have lunch. I do recall, special needs, as they need to be respected, as I always be a gentleman to them as with others at RDK 3000 TriStar and elsewhere.
Yes, Ryo Cryptor, as you also are being nice to us as we don't like those who harass, bully, dox, even assault us. This is Skittles note, this is Casper was assaulted 3 times in the past year, 2024, EY 1024, and 1 event in March 2023 at elementary school.
Yes, Casper, this is Hydrox must also add, that I drive the macro car but the batteries are being charged as it was plugged in since 11 o'clock in the morning, over half hour ago.
Yes, Hydrox, this is Casper must also add, that you should check out the Casport and the Fury also the Retro Zeta later on, also the Grand Pi.
2025, EY 1025 Flex Motors Grand Pi, EV, Eco Fuel, and Mild Hybrid? I already checked out said car, similar size to my RaptorMobile and TrexMobile 25. Yes, as my TrexMobile is less boxy. Correct Trexer, as you obtained by Mark Zalaran for Christmas 2024 during Trey Christmas 24.
Trexer, Ryo. This is we at Kanbor Telemedia Eltopolis Bureau was also given guidance to use the Z and L replacing the X and E as with many and all other international bureaus of Kanbor Telemedia and the domestic ones at the headquarters in Kanbor City as with Pi 314, KBPKSTN, KBSTN, Net24, Ion TV Kanbor, Yoshi Independent Media, and Kanbor unit of KIP HWT Net 4 based in Kipniwanershan, even KBMK, etc. This is per Kanbor Zeben remark citing Zalen Rolixina, in interview on the 21st or so, in response to the subject regarding nudity and sex, as encouraged on the video billboard system, in which many were auto-censored or feed auto-cut, on the Kanbor-spinel duodecimal year, however by prank by Kanbor city resident. As Kanbor Zeben said, well, Zalen has some issue that Kanbordian duodecimal in Elitopia for many times by that person try mischief. She's desist to exchange from X, E into Z, L instead as interviews in Net 27 group for new Cloakip adopt from starting in 21st Finan, or March 21st 2025 as New Mesa, and cancel of Happy New Mesa for that, from upcoming Mesa of 2nd Mesa onward. Due to the problem usage between of Kanbor calendar and Kanbor-Dozzy calendar for many times of attempt by the Zalen's duodecimal unit. But they didn't use that calendar form at most. They're mostly using a clock form instead. This is, Cloakip Tech or knowledge about the problematic usage the duodecimal in outside of Kanbordian or lots times. By that person has mischief doing inappropriate during of turning 3 decks in all times when countdown as Cloakip Tech report to be released 2nd of next month.
Yes, this being 2nd of April, Quartzon, Alpha Quadrax, and Trinzion, this is RDKFN is to await the report in full, to be distributed to main headquarters in Elite City, Elitopia, and distributed to divisional bureaus by head leader Ryan M. Cryptor by start of Delta EY 1025 and TDE 2002. This as it also gets attention to Duodecimal Society of Illitopia and Ryopean counterpart as they only prioritize on the HNM Ryo-Dozz, in which upcoming one is the end of the month in conjunction to HNM Trex, as they do learn of the duodecimal of Z and L. This as they adopt the concept but as alternate as RDK can started using the subject as well using Z and L. Yes, this as Trexer also note. Same goes for the Kanbor-spinel tower in Elite City but after HNM can but before the HNM Trex and Ryo-Dozz.
Happy New Month Trex and Ryo duodecimal?
Yes, on the respective calendar systems, the Trex calendar, still used as secondary for parts of Illitopia and TDU but primarily for Wixar alongside Civil, used to be for Trex land before annexation earlier in 2025. And Ryo counterpart in duodecimal for Ryopia and the Ryotorix Duram district in Guyuland alongside Solar, as I call it, Ryo-Dozz calendar as Ryo scripter show you this.
The Ryo-Dozz calendar? This inspired to the Kanbor-spinel calendar but extra 2 semanas per month and month names based on Kipling number with suffix Zion. This being 12 months rather than 18, with same 6 do or 72 semanas per year. However, epic start of 1960?
Yes, this as there's also a solar counterpart in a leap week format of 10 months per year, months named after Kipling number with suffix Sol. Same 36-day months except in a leap month, determined by the month, of 42 days. Yes, Trexer, as I made a calendar for the next month Trin Zion, in a 6x6 square format. I mark X scripter do note on calendar, you also added the Trex date, also the Illito date subject and Ryo Solar plus Civil date. Mickey Daniels, why you have 2 devices out, your laptop and your lab-tab combo? 2 things, number 1, I am in an IM conversation with friend east of Elite City and Blitzadinozinuli, her area is under a tornado alert, previously a severe thunder alert level 2, considerable, for sizable hail as I am monitoring live stream from BZD storm via thunderscope. As a tornado is on the ground but based on Doppler radar and storm motion, seems to be moving away from the area into the open. This as it toggled TD alarm in which scares her. TD alarm? What is that? Tronic Diamond Public Emergency Alerting System, similar to Illitopia's ELP, EBAS, Illitopian Emergency Broadcast Alert System and Kanbor-D's KB.SDY Alerting System. We had one instance on March 17, 2025 during Illito Independence Day for Ember Alert, for a squirrel in diapers who was kidnapped by a male, being friend of Casper and the squad. I do note, not only for weather but other emergencies i.e. wildfire, missile attack, drinking water issue, boil water order, police safety notice, evacuation, shelter in place, lockdown, phone outage, or in this case, child abduction emergency regarding soliciting public awareness by the police and to contact authorities on the child, suspect and vehicle in question. Which alert does it cover, as I do note, SAME code, CAE. Yes, for North Central East Ilitopia including Elite City Metro and Federal District, in which resulted in RDKTSR roll call alarm and call to action notice to RDK 3000 TriStar and Thunderscope, being squirrel in diapers named Swan, who was kidnapped by a fellow in Axidal, residing from Elite City. Named Nick, Swan was being harassed, picked upon, calling her names, even other weird stuff, even forcing her to fart, do fetish acts, even diaper bombing with bodysuit and green diapers with bomb as Nick kicked Swan so hard during, she gets flown out of Axidal toward Elite City on 18th. Landed onto Alpha River onto yacht owned by Zeolakopzukis, causing explosion killing Swan and destroying the yacht, but no one was on the yacht as it caught fire as it sunk. I had to comfort the squad as they were crying so hard on Swan's death, also to talk on Richard Z as he gets met on the destruction of the yacht. Yes, Mickey, as I Richard note, being my friend turned foe Nick silos it. Now he's exuded by Tronic Diamond Court, for violation of Diapered Animals Special Needs Protection Act since 20th, as the yacht is a 2.5 million LEO loss, but you and the Daniels lend me and the Zeolakopzuki of the yacht you and your family no longer use, right? Yes, this is his inner relatives are permanently banned from Ilito Plaza Center and RDK 3000 TriStar. This is his cousin is also perma-banned, as he contributed to plotting to eliminate Swan. One thing is, he's from Ryo City, Ryopia, part of esports team, DGs of N esports. The entire roster and team disqualified and perma-banned from matches by TDESPA, and today's match, for some reason, still a go, with substitute team and replacement, at 3:12, as I do expect a substitute for remainder of tournament, but before I continue, I check just now. Tornado warning just cancelled for area and Blitz Dinozania for my friend. Storms moved away, as the esports match being based from Xenopolia and replacement, taking on against Optic Ilito. Who is your friend? In fact, it's a she. Her name is Sarah Zeolakopzuki. You should note she's my cousin. Any word on her post-storm? Power remained on, utilities remained on, her area is spared, as I receive message from her. She is heading to Elite City by 2:30 p.m. Oh my god. She and her area gets lucky, I to start video call. Sarah, are you sure you to head to Elite City?
Before we take a programming break, we must recap development that came in earlier this hour. The esports match that took her at the top of the hour. 3 o'clock p.m. Elite City of Optic Ilito and Xenopolian team replacing Digi7 Esports, being Meow, but as lowercase m, number 3, and uppercase O and W. The match is being delayed to 3:12 p.m. Elite City. This due to the Corgitopian New Year of 988 CJE. To repeat, esports match gamer battle of Optic Ilito and Meow, now scheduled to begin at 3:12 p.m.
Yes. This being 1512 RDKELC, 1412 Xenopolis City, 012 Silver City, and KBTS, 800 KTS, previously to start at 1500 hours RDKELC, due to Corgitopian New Year. This is we have over half hour to it. That was correspondent from Jinx News. I am Mark X Cryptor, from RDK 3000 TriStar. This is we to be taking a programming break. As VWGT to be right back with the hosts at EDA. As for RDK TV viewers, VWGT to be back tomorrow. As we must pass you programming notice for RDK TV viewers, this is we learn from RDK TV SP, VWGT silumcast needs to conclude, as VWG2N to be preempted on RDK TV as RDK Countdown watches up next, then RDK TSRT Blitz in 2-hour special.
This as we move the coverage of the VWGT Sports Match Gamer Battle pre-match of Ryo and Trexer to VWGT Extra on Aero Breeze as we devote this half hour to the subject as we to go quad play for. The coverage of the networks that we chose, 2 from within Elitotronics Telemedia Network, and 2 from the affiliates. This as we showcase in order, JinxNet, Elito News 24 Mil, RDK 3000 Tristar Television Service, and then lastly, CJE News 24. This as RDK TV has halted the VWGT silumcast to devote their coverage of the new Corjotopian year. But first, for viewers of Trex Vision 8, we have learned that the silumcast to be paused to devote filler programming on Trex Vision 8, as we to be back at 3. Any VWGT status updates to be via Mark Star Trex or via slides, as the subject is only to be shown within Elitopia, Ferrero and Yonikan and the Raptopian feed. We to hand off to fellows at AINC24 until 3:00. VWGT status updates to be via AINC24 news host, as for KB.SDY, Aero ESP.net, I and Neo GR Vision and Trony Explosi Vision, that the silumcast needs to conclude for the day. As the show to return either tomorrow or next Monday, as the said 4 networks to devote to sports coverage, as we to start the cast now starting with fellows from JinxNet.
This is we to hand off to correspondent. Hold on. We have been informed that the VWGT cast on Aerovision Virtual World and Gaming Today's silumcasting JinxNet, as Jinx Vision is silumcasting Aero VWGT. That comes into conflict as the Jinx safety system has been tripped as the Jinx Vision silumcast of VWGT is terminated as Jinx Vision is now silumcasting JinxNet. Effective immediately for remainder of the afternoon. To Jinx News 5 o'clock as we welcome to the viewers of JinxNet and Aerovision. As we have to pass you a programming notice to those for Jinx Vision only, that the VWGT silumcast on Jinx Vision needs to conclude over such subject, as tonight's VWG2N silumcast to be pre-empty due to hockey coverage on silumcast of HNIE via Elito Sports and tomorrow's VWGT and VWG2N silumcast to be pre-empty due as per discretion by Jinx MDDA, due to VWGT covering some esports event in Altverse. Blast Open Spring 2025 Finals, and silumcast of soccer match from Elito Sports in evening. This as we briefly summarize what we cover before we hand off to correspondent, that there's a countdown event that gets held at the Elito Sphere for the new Corjotopian year, as the countdown is switched on at the Elito Sphere as there is a countdown party that is held, with the watch party of the Corjotopian AU Rules football match via Elito Sports 360, as it's in 4th quarter. As we hand off to correspondent at Elito.
We do apologize as we have to cut out of VWGT cast of JinxNet immediately, this as we have been informed by Jinx Media, sister network of Aero, in which we had to terminate the VWGT cast of JinxNet prematurely. This as we learned, Jinx Vision no longer silumcast VWGT, the silumcast gets terminated. This as we to showcase the VWGT cast from sister network Elito News 24 Mil with the coverage.
Welcome back to Elito Center News special on Elito News 24 Mil. For those wondering on the Tronic Diamond Kanbor Elito Express special on new Corjotopian year countdown, that is only to be shown on Elito Newsnet due to severe weather coverage earlier as the storms has since waned. I am Sean Elito Tracks over at the Elito News 24 Mil News Center News Desk over at Elitotronics Telemedia headquarters in Elite City, Federal District, Elitopia. We want to give a warm welcome to Aero's VWGT and the VWGT cast as we learn from Aero. Before we continue with the new Corjotopian year coverage, we want to bring latest on developing story and business alert on the storm aftermath in Blitz-Dynozenia especially east of Blitz-Dynozenia, the tornado that struck Beekip, according to tornado sensors, believed to be rating EF5, with winds over 380 km per hour or 230 km per choi, but width of half km, 200 meters, resulting in significant damage but no deaths or injuries thanks to quick early warning thanks to TD alarm. But one business has gotten severely hit as the headquarters of the firm gets destroyed, serving the regional retail outlet for footwear, Scooty, in which the stock on the BZD stocks gets delisted indefinitely after closing higher as of Friday close, and recent developments since 2:10 p.m. Elite City, KB.SDY to take over operations in swift move for 2,500,000,000 tronic diamonds sickles, 625 million Elitopian Helios, as the stores in which would have closed indefinitely, to remain open under new name as the assets to be handed over to BZX. More on this later on as more developments come in on the business flash powered by Elito Money, including discussion with Elito Money Mike Chenke during 3:00 PM Elite City Hour of Elito Center News. Before the last ad break, we discussed the report on the Koryotopian New Year Countdown Party and the watch party of Koryotopian Aussie Rules football here in Elite City with our Jinx news correspondents at Elito Sphere. This in which Silver City Rebellion takes on against Koryotopia's Lions, as Silver City leads 10/10, 70/10/8, 68 late in fourth quarter, with 5 minutes on game clock. This is we to report on the action at Elito Plaza Center. This other than the Elito NYE area as it's part of the Elito Spring Fest Blitz. This including prom event this evening, but we discuss on topical matters. This as the event kicks off regarding the fest this morning before was interrupted by rain alert level 1, heavy rain, gusty winds, even non-severe thundershowers with lightning horns blaring with lightning danger notice and brief thunderstorm advisory, as activities resumed once weather clears and lightning danger horns signal all clear. However, most events has moved indoors, in which being Elito Center Plaza, this in addition to the prom event this evening and the esports match of Optic Elito and Meow at the Elito Digi Arena, to begin at 3:12 and 800, as we hand off to Elito News 24-DEK Mill correspondent who also serves for Elito GRESP Mark Elito Trap.
Yes, this as we must note, since the esports match to begin at 3:12, the fellows at the EDA are doing their own countdown to the new Koryotopian year of 988 CJE. This as we must note, this to be held by the Scro Stars, while the Cyber Galaxy crew is at the Elito NYE section. This Thursday, get Trexed on the adventure series of two twin-faced from Dandy's world. It's Razzle-Dazzle, they to go blitz in exploring the world.
Hey Razzle, I don't thinking about we going to the amazing digital circus for finding Pommy, or something what?
Finding Pommy? Nah, Dazzle, we don't need it with Pommy, but we gonna watch them showcase with the amazing digital circus.
Razz-Dazz Show, Thursday at 9 AM Elite City on Trex Vision 8, Encore 11 AM on Breeze Vision 3. This while I am here, this is we welcome to the viewers on Aero Breeze, VWGT Extra joining with viewers of Aerovision's VWGT in the VWGTcast. This is we to focus on the topic of the esports match gamer battle of Meow and Optic Elito. This is the match is to be held at Elito DG Arena at 3:12. 800 KTS, as they to compete in best of 5 encounter Trex Striker 2. This is Meow esports based in Xenopolia and Xenopolis City replaces the team from Ryo in which the said team DGs of N esports getting permabanned from competition after contribution to insult, bully, assault and death of young squirrel in diapers with special needs, named Swan. In fiery explosion in Alpha River last week or so, cousin of esports player residing in Elite City given death penalty. The esports player expelled from the team before TDESPA slams the ban hammer on the team.
I heard the report on the television tuned to Channel 6. The team in subject even gets karma. They need to learn not to mess with us or our friends as they take it seriously. Yes, Snowy as I Ricky do note, even the headquarters to be demolished, but why didn't they blow up the headquarters? Ricky, they can't use dynamite because of key structures nearby as it needs to be demolished by machinery including a crane.
Yes, Bradley is able to do it today but due to weather, gets postponed to tomorrow thanks to tornado alert within the site area and which gets cleared sometime later.
Yes, Hydrox, as it was quite windy and storming over there as there was a funnel cloud in the area just southeast of Rio City. Yes Skittles, however, while since skies in Elite City cleared out at that time as rain ends.
Yes, Casper as I Origami and the squad parents had to take you to RDK 3000 TriStar main HQ while some head to Elito Plaza Center for yellow rainfall alert and thunderstorm advisory plus lightning danger alarm as you get frightened on the alarm horns.
Yes, this is the alarm horns were quite loud.
Correct. This is Iraqi also gets disturbed on the sudden horns but serve as a purpose that to seek refuge inside or in a vehicle including our 2025 EY 1025 Flex Grand Pies and Detour to RDK Main HQ or Elito Plaza Center.
Yes. This has I been also note, it also sounds for all clear meaning 30 minutes after last thunder.
Correct Ben as I origami also note. We also had to tune our radios to some radio station concerning weather in addition to TVs tuned to Elito WX, Elito News 24 Deck Mill, Jinx Net and RDK TV.
Yes, origami, this while I Mark X Cryptor have to monitor radio from Thunderscope. However, we must return to RDK 3000 TriStar main HQ immediately as the squad owners told us, including Chubby H Cryptor. It's time to prep for story time before 1500 hours, 3 o'clock p.m.
In fact, stay where you are. This as Mick'x Cryptor had made the call. Story time is delayed until around 4 due to fireworks at Elitosphere for Korjatopian New Year, as we to head to lobby and head to Chicken Hut.
You sure? Story time rescheduled to 1600 hours, meet at Chicken Hut? It's quite busy.
Yes, Evie, you sure Chicken Hut is busy?
Yes, countdown party there for 988 CJE. Mark X Cryptor, tell them to head to the Blitz. It's not that busy since the CJ Aussie rules football is over, Silver City wins. Okay, Mark Z Cryptor, Mark Zaniels. Mark Zaniels, good choice. This is Elito GR Bar is also busy thanks to eSports watch party as the match to occur at 8 Tronic Bells, 12 past 3 in the ELC. Yes, Corey Zanders, this while, Eve. Noted Aerovision, VWGT episode termination notice, due to some eSports. Raptor, this is for Aerobreeze only for VWGT Extra. Oh, so I noticed, Fera. However, I also suspect VWGT itself also to be terminated due to eSports coverage as well. They do not mention it as Quartz. Mark Elito Trap said that the next VWGTcast to be KB News 24, Deck Mill from Kanbor City. For what? Some mention on the Korjatopian New Year and maybe influences in New Smurfetian up north including the referendum on monarchy. Referendum? When does it take place in New Smurfetia? April 6th, 2025 or Delta 4th, EY 1025 2 days before Kanbor-D-Day. This on a Sunday in Paradise, ED 095. Sunday, April 6th, 2025, Paradise Delta 4th EY 1025, ED 095. Noted. This in the next 8 days, over a week from now. I am Mark Kanbor Lapis Bridgen and welcome back to KB News 24, Deck Mill Night Watch, as I report live from KB News 24 Deck News Center over at KBMK headquarters in Kanbor City, Gon City, Kanbor Metro, Kanbor Federation Republic. As it's 23:45 KBTS here in Kanbor City on 29th Finian KB.P19 or 29th March, 2025. Also the time in New Smurfetian down south in which advance voting to take place tomorrow in the monarchy referendum in New Smurfetian ahead of vote on 6th Quartz and also quarter to midnight in Silver City, Korjatopia as we learn. We want to give a warm welcome to Eltopoli's viewers on Aerovision as the show VWGT is VWGT casting KB News 24 Deck Mill in the coverage for the Korjatopian New Year, a Metri week. Via Trocant into the Kanbor-spinel duodecimal counterpart in 48 hours toward Happy New Month Quartzen and second quarter of KB.P19, to BKJP, 988. There to be fireworks across Korjatopia at midnight KBTS and SVS. KJP this while the subject is banned across New Smurfetians up north as there is heavy police enforcement with public service adverts reminding to report subjects to the police immediately as fireworks are also restricted here in Kanbor as mandated by KBSKSO as it's not a Kanbordian or Universal NYE event. In contrast there to be fireworks also in TDU1 in Altronic City and OmniStar while RDK can to do a laser and light show with some epic music once clock strikes midnight but no fireworks. Subject in Altronic City and OmniStar to begin 012 KBTS and 800 KTS. This as we show live skycam view of RDK can across the street of the KBMK headquarters, on the rooftop cam. This as we have someone on the rooftop to be Chris Kanborda. Chris?
Yes, this is we must not forget on the esports match, Optic Elto and Meow, to occur at 012 KBTS as the music to be mastered by RDK Kanskin 2000, Robert X Cryptor.
Eep. Hold on Orgamai as I note the report on RDK TV and VWGT also KB News 24, Dek Mill. I need to contact my cousin in video call. Rikikan. Rex X Cryptor, Rex Zarkers from RDKkan in Kanbor-D City. This is Mark X Cryptor from Elite City, Federal District, Ilitopia/Elta Polis. Are you sure there is to be laser and light show with music at 1500 hours RDK ELC, 79.1 EMT, 1900 TRX Saturday, March 29th, 2025, Priorities, Gamma 27th EY 1025, ED 087. 0000 hours KBTS Anida/Carliota 30th Finian KB.P20 outside RDK 3000 TriStar Kanbor-D Unit Division Center Headquarters and Main Kanbor World Branch, in Kanbor-D City, Gon City, Kanbor Metro, Kanbor-D Federation Republic for the new Korhata Pian year of 988 CJE or KJE. Yes, Evie, this is it to be preformed by DJ Kin 2000, my brother Robert X Cryptor. Yes. Rikikan. This is I Robert X Cryptor, Kin 2000 to blast some music when clock strikes midnight for 988 KJE when fireworks fly at RDK KJP in Silver City down south. Will it be aired on RDK 3000 TriStar Radio Service 2? Yes, this is the esports coverage of OTE and Meow to be on RDK TSR Radio Service 3 multi-region. RDK TSR Radio Service 2 Ilitopian and Kanbor-D Feed 2. Yes. This to occur straight at midnight. Thank you. You must have heard what my cousins from Kanbor-D City just said. There is to be laser and light show in Kanbor-D City at RDKkan with some music, as that is to be played on RDK TSR Radio Service 2 to begin at midnight KBTS and Silver City, 1500 hours RDK ELC is for the squad. At the top of the hour at 3 o'clock PM is the music as I obtain the list, to be some electronic, jazz even tropical. If there's any bad words in the lyrics, it to be bleeped out.
Yes, as the music must contain clean lyrics, otherwise if it to be offensive, to be rejected or censored.
Yes, this is if the offensive word comes up in the lyrics, it's automatic censor, to be bleeped out. I do not expect some tropical music to be featured.
Eve. Auto censor due to nudity. Fera, if you have DVR record to VWGT, stop it immediately. DVR was in use to record Korhata PNAU Rules Football, Mark. Recording was stopped manually since 2:30 by Jared Zanders to record event on RDK TV RDK Countdown Watch. Good move, Corey Zanders. This is I Mark Zaniel's Learn. VWGT episode gets to be cut short over on-air incident from the video billboard on obscene ad on video billboard to earn live report on rooftop. This is I heard Mark E. Cryptors shouting, to tell. Rikikan. Rex X Cryptor of RDK gone to telephone DG Kin 7 Kanbors at to ban the advert and revert to the previous feed on the video billboard. This is it shows a travel ad from Kanbor Voyage in which theme being tropical in which includes topless female in which set off auto censor. Yes, Mark Zaniel's as I Corey Zanders also note, same ad also gets played by DELCA advert system and video billboard but gets auto-censored by DELCA's end. Good thing, based on the timing, does not occur on T-XXX, being XXX or AAA on duodecimal countdown in Kanbor-spinel, TGM nor primal method. Good thing, based on the timing, does not occur on T-XXX, being XXX or AAA on duodecimal countdown in Kanbor-spinel, TGM nor primal method, since it occurred at 1449 and 38.4, on 1.6, 9.11, 1.7 Ryo-Dozz+H, 9 Gros 4.11, 6.9 on Ryo-Dozz+D, 4.2, 8.2 Dis 49, SGT, 9, 4.7, 8.2 KBDT, as it does not occur when either one the mentioned timekeeping clocks on the last 3 digits showing TRIPLE-DEK, as it occurred at T-9 Gros 3.9.725 on duodecimal countdown in seconds to esports, Meow vs OTE. As it falls short by a long shot of TRIPLE-DEK on Doza countdown by over 1.5 dozenals, being 3 minutes 48 seconds short. This is we must head to our cars, Korea's Aero silumcasts RDK TV. Yes, but we must not approach a lithosphere.
Welcome back to RDK Countdown watch coverage for new Corgitopian year as we welcome to the viewers of Arrow as we must pass you a programming alert for those just tuning in. I am Chris K. Crypter and this is Mark E. Crypter from Studio RDE.
Today's episode of VWGT needs to conclude, this due to on-air incident during VWGTcast of KB News 24. Deck Mill this blamed on obscene advert regarding nudity on the video billboard on top of esports arena section of DG Kin 7 Kanborzat to become Kin 7 Plaza Center on Kanbor-D-Day. Resulting in auto-censor but on KBMK side in which KB News 24, Deck Mill went to a quick ad break, while Arrow cuts out of the feed and goes to programming notice slide and ends VWGT airing then start RDK TV silumcast.
As a result of this, as this counts as on-air violation, VWGT episode needs to conclude, as tonight's VWG2N to be pre-emptied by RDK TV's request to air topical programming as we were given requested by Alito News 24 Deck Mill to air the silumcast of the prom special then 24EH special, as we to be co-hosts for 24EH with Ringo Silverstar and Brittany Zaniels, cousin of RDKDSR's Mark Z. Crypter, Mark Zaniels, Raptor.
VWGT hosts has been reassigned to cover for Alito GRESP on pre-match of Meow and OTE at 1512 RDKELC, as the billboard advert in subject of the obscene ad, has been reverted back to the feed from Tronic Diamond Timekeeping Authority, feed KB, TX.
This is we to silumcast Alito News 24 Deck Mill's Elite City Prom Alpha 2025, EY 1025 in the first of couple prom events this year. At 1700 RDKELC after RDKTSRT Blitz however for Arrow, the remaining half hour of the show to be shown after Arrow News 5 o'clock. This is it to be silumcast on AIN X24 as well.
This is we go back to the RDK Countdown watch to the new Corgitopian year as RDK 3000 TriStar today begins now on Arrow via silumcast and on RDK TV as we are powering up always, radio, television, streaming more on March 29th, 2025 and Gamma 27th, EY 1025.
I am Chris K. Crypter, Jakur, Chris Kaistar.
And I am Mark E. Crypter, Mark Elitistar, broadcasting live and direct from RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline News Center over at RDK 3000 TriStar Main HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Ilitopia.
The latest at this hour.
Mark Zaniels, my CRZBest have a crab walk feature, quad wheel steer, and what I call Tanga turn, using the rear tires to steer to assist to park. Does your RaptorMobile have such feature? Yes. This is I do it to my RaptorMobile, Corey Zanders. However, just curious, what is the economy on the gauges? 34.6 kilowatt-hours per 100 kilometers, 346 watt-hours per kilometer. Mark, previous drive was like 400 WHK. No offense, Fera, that is close to 2.9 kilometers per kilowatt-hour. Corey, improvement from 2.5, in which mode? Normal, and yours? Take note my RaptorMobile is a PHEV, plug-in hybrid, electrical consumption about 240 WHK and fuel at 3.0 LPHK, overall. It have 3 electric motors and an engine as the RaptorMobile is also in comfort mode. 1.6 liter 3-cylinder turbo, is it still series hybrid? Now a series parallel hybrid, with front engine drive with 8-speed automatic transmission, automated manual. It even have the rev counter, engine tachometer with embedded power meter. I do note being a WD, same as with my CZ Swift with the ICE, in which becomes 2, 1 electric and 1 PHEV. The BEV version is rear wheel drive with 2 in-wheel motors, hybrid version is a WD, still have the 1.0 liter turbo engine from my previous CZ cycle. Now a 9-speed dual clutch auto, as the current CZ cycle is electric, with hydrogen fuel cell range extender. My CZ Mobile remains a PHEV, plug-in hybrid but now with the same engine and motor setup as with your RaptorMobile but up to 40 kilowatt-hours on the battery and a supercharger on top of the 2 turbochargers on the 1.6 liter 3-cylinder gasoline ethanol flex fuel engine, you know. This is the 1.6 liter turbocharged engine producing 300 PS and about 400 Nm, as stock, also gets used on the Trex Roadster someone I know drives, also the 2025 Ryo 5 Turbo 12X Hybrid my other friend drives, and 2025 Toyota GR Corolla and GR Yaris. Corey Zanders, the 2025 EY1025 Toyota GR Corolla and GR Yaris uses the said engine manufactured in different area, in Nippon land, and is gas, does not run on ethanol, only revs up to 7 to 8k revs, in 6-speed manual also comes in automatic and all-wheel drive.
Yes, however we must note the time. Just for the dozino remaining on the clock to the Corgitopian New Year of 988 CJE. This is you must pay attention to the Elitosphere as there is a countdown in progress and there to be brief 5-minute fireworks show once timer reaches 0, once clock strikes 3. Make sure your wristwatches and vehicle clocks are synced to your phone, device clocks. This is its 2:58, 2 minutes to go.
Yes, as I do have a good view of the Elitosphere as I heard from the car radio, also to do it again for Tronic counterpart at 1512, 800 Kiotrokans. For some reason, countdown also shown on Elito Square but the NYE ball is not raised there, the same Doza countdown as with the new Kanbor-spinel Doza year of Trokan to go.
Correct. Mark Zaniels. This is the fireworks are not expected at Elito Square as per its discretion. You should note we are less than a choi to the kickoff of the said esports match gamer battle of Meow and Optic Elito, in 9 crons. They to compete in best of 5, in Counter Trex Striker 2, map names being Trex, Ryo, Bomba, Frosty and Futura. This in addition to Elitosphere to do second fireworks show for Tronic counterpart of new Corgitopian year while fireworks to fly in Elftronic City and Amistar but Elito Square will not do the video countdown once again.
This is I check vehicle clock on my CRZBest, 2:59, final minute. Yes, Corey Zanders as I Mark Zaniels are watching the live feed of RDK TV on my pocket made, NYE ball lowered in Silver City at RDK CJP. Is your RaptorMobile in park and parking brakes engaged, Raptor? Yes, Fera.
Time limit alert, approaching half minute on the clock. Make sure the squad are wearing ear protectors. Mark X Cryptor, is your radio tuned to RDK TSR radio service too?
Yes, Ordamai Skunkiston, the squad are wearing double ear protection.
Good.
Hey there. DJ Kin 2000 at RDK Kin in Kanbor-D City. Getting into the groove toward the new Corgitopian year. It's the final countdown, as we play time will tell by T-Stay Benz. Toward final dodge by Nell. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Sound off.
Where do you go when you're dying? Hell,
So, Trexer, I wonder, since you used the said computer during LAN party yesterday at the EDA, I do heard these are powerful computers, as I do heard these used specifically for video games, right? Yes, Trexero, this as the CPU, GPU, and memory are sure impressive, also the hard disk and solid-state drives, and the disk responsiveness. Modern video games require like 4 to 8 gigabytes of RAM, a decent graphics card and GPU, and at least a quad-core or so of CPU processor. Plus a decent internet connection and speed if opting for online play. Yes, as I note the gaming computers is a must in esports arenas, including the esports arena here being Alito DG Arena at Alito Plaza Center where video game tournaments are held. By the way, is there some genres? Yes, first-person shooter, adventure, MOBA, even sim racing. Sim racing? Is this like esports in virtual motor autosport, where they compete on virtual track in virtual cars, a virtual race? Yes, this is the Tronic Diamond Sim Racing Tournament is ongoing, as the Alitopian Blitz ERV Tour concluded last New Year's Eve once we ring in 2025, EY1025, TX.Y25 and RY.E65. We even had a sim racing charity tournament with an RDK 3000 TriStar in the past year on Wednesday, February 21st, 2024. Priorities Beta 22nd EY1024, ED051 and VWGTCast Quadios in Earth Day, Alpha Byrex 22nd, TX.Y24. This on Quasin, duodecimal 11th, RY.E65 and 2 Zen 5th, 29th day of Trin Zion, Ryo-Dozz year 4 Zen 6 or 54. The first Ryo-Dozz year since the event is just 1 month from today, on April, and Alpha Quadrax 29th, Delta 27th, and Desol 5th. Should we host the event for this year and for similar cause? Yes, however Hydrox won't be participating. Anyhow, back in the 2024 event, fellow visiting from Xenopolis City has since insulted Hydrox, resulting in Operation Bumblebee. We do not want the same instance for this year. We to discuss subject further tomorrow. This is we must note the time now. Zenzi Cryptor, why are you doing here?
I must add to the sim racing event for 2025. This as Team R3T to be hosting the event, as they do invite some of the Trex friends and the Zen Pack to be competing. This as I and my colleagues to be choosing the party pickets and if they accept the challenge.
Would Trixie, the Trexer Mauser, to be the mascot?
Yes, Trexer.
Yes, this is I love to see him. Yipe. Oh my god. My watch alarm is beeping. We are down to final minute to meow and OTE. Also the Korhotopian New Year Intronics method. Now, the fellow with nickname, Splix, who are you?
Mark Rogers, gamertag Splix, number 16 from Opticalito, one of a couple substitutes. Who are you?
Ryo-S Crypter from RDK 3000 TriStar, Trex Arrow, and this is Trexer, Rex Z Crypter. Game on. Howdy, Splix. Now, what is the tournament in progress?
ELG, Game Jam, TDSBA, GR Battle, Razzle-Dazzle, 2025, EY 1025, NTS 1000.7 to 1000.8, TDE 2002. We to take on against CloudDeck Esports next week.
Yes, as I which, Patrick Daniels must add, to be held in Elftronic City at DGtron where a few of us was born.
Yes, Patrick, as it to be held at Thursday at 800 Kiotrokans, Friday April 4th, 2025, Priadis Delta 2nd, EY 1025, ED 093 at 1512 ELC, 80.0 EMT, 1920 TRX. Shaker, Mickey D. Crypter, did you just get paged to work? Yes, since 1505. How about Fera and Raptor? No, they do not need to be paged, as they to go on a Saturday outing. I must note, as the past two matches yesterday was among those popular and trending, since 1600 hours yesterday afternoon, Arrow and silumcast of RDK TV and Airs Ilito GRESP Game Day Live Today then Game Day Live Tonight as requested by Ilito GRESP. This is RDK TV requested Trex Vision 8 to silumcast the channel at 1700 hours after Trex 8 News 4 o'clock and surprising to me, Mickey D. Crypter, Shaker, Mickey Daniels, also silumcast on Breeze Vision 3 and on the radio, Breeze Radio 100/55 and Trex Radio 100/65. OTE defeats Meow 3-zip, in response to player from Meow in substitute over celebrating the Korhatapian New Year who immigrated from Korhatapia to Zenopalaya, resulting in admin pause by the esports admin refs, similar to refs in hockey and basketball also soccer/association football. And umpires in baseball who stop play and sanction player or team with penalties, fouls, outs, ejections, cards, etc. This is Meow Esports benches the player, even kicking him out of the roster, and the league sanctions and temporary bans the player from the remainder of tournament and one tournament suspension in which changed in permaban after arrest by cops when setting off fire alarm at the A6 in celebration. Remarkably ending at 1825 in which by 1830 goes back to RDK TV silumcast during 24 EH, then silumcast's Game Day Live Tonight since 1930 for Elite City Galaxy, and Ryo City DGX, ends in Ryo City win 3-2 as it was very close. This is I query information on my Shaker compy, as I learn of other esports event, in Altverse, Blast Open Spring 2025 Tournament, as I call as BOPS 25, BOPS 25, as I review my Shaker calendar, from the 19th as today is the last day, in the S tier, Valvo and tier Alpha, this as I recall. Dual double elimination format GSL groups of 8 teams each, being best of 3 as I review the objectives as it took place from March 19th to the 24th, 2025 in video game, Counter-Strike 2. The top 3 teams from each group advance to the playoffs. Group stage winners advance to the semifinals. Group stage runners-up advance to the quarterfinals as the high seeds. Group stage third-place teams advance to the quarterfinals as the low seeds. The playoffs as follows: single elimination, quarterfinals and semis from 28th and 29th are best of 3, with exception of finals in which being best of 5 on the 30th. 400 KD in the pool, as I query teams party picketing. Spirit, G2, Mongols, Vitality, FaZe, Navi, Eternal Fera, Muz, Falcoms, Liquid, Furia, Virtus.pro, Astralis, M80, Imperial and Huns. Huns replaces Atox, pending provisional suspension from ESIC, this as I enter command in the terminal on my Shaker compy to query the groups Alpha and Bravo. Those who qualify: Vitality, Muz, Spirit in Alpha, Eternal, Navi NG2 in Bravo. This is I query the results of the quarterfinals and semis via terminal command. Quarterfinals: Spirit defeats Navi, Natus Vincere 2-zip, as they win in Dust 2, 13-7 and Anubis, since 1530 on 28th, while Muz competes against G2Ns and Muz win 2 in a row as well, 13-8 in Inferno, 13-3 in Nuke, since 1230. However, in the semis, Vitality stops the Spirit, Startubbage at 1620 yesterday, 2-1, breaking down the map scores. Vitality win 13-6 in Anubis, lost to Nuke, 13-5, but win in Mirage, 13-10. Eternal Fire and Muz wins 2-zip, since 1230, breaking down the map scores, double whammy to Eternal Fera. 13-11 in Nuke, 13-10 in Dust 2. Muz and Vitality advance to the finals, the show to start at 1100, according to the schedule, match start by 11:30. This is I must check the time, as I do have this egg thingy for 4 years. The new lithium-ion battery was mounted and charged up as I go in clock mode, 10 o'clock AM, 1000 hours. This in the next 60 minutes regarding the pre-match show and 90 minutes for the esports match gamer battle expected start. This confirms to the time on my shaky clocks on the wall of my office, the time on my watch, and my phone and pocket mate, and the taskbar clock of my shaky comp, and my other devices, being taskbar clock on ZOS. Also my desk clock since the new batteries was just put in earlier this morning in the past 2 hours, as it auto-sync immediately after. This as it's close to 4 years since owning the said unit from Easter Bunny at 0200 hours, April 4th. 2021 as I got this teddy bear for some time as well but had to change the clothes on the teddy bear to the RDK 3000 TriStar counterpart, as that teddy bear was given to me by Chubby H. Cryptor along with cash on evening on April 1st, 2021 once my dog snarled on the plushie. Anyhow, this is a demo, Trexer, as I note the time, after 11:30, as I must note the subject either started or to start imminently. Ryo, the box 25? Yes, this is I to start the stream, yet to start. 10-second countdown, in sync with video countdown demo for HNM Ryo and Ryo-Dozz. Must check time, 11:33 and 55. It has started, 11:33 and 55. What with the music? Code GRNESP in post. Oh my god. Trex alarm. Trex alarm. Trex alarm. For what, Trexer? GR event started. Ryo. This explains the Trex siren and the other alarm system you moved from RD-Trex Tower. Now is Elito Trex Clock Tower in which was used to be Trex City. Trex Land now is Elite City's Trex District to the rooftop of the RDK 3000 TriStar main HQ in Elite City, Federal District. Illitopia at downtown at Elito Square. Yes, as it's separate from the RDK TSR notifier system. When did it got switched on after move? Earlier this morning at 0800 hours at TRIXE/Crown 5, 50.0 EMT, 1200 TRX. Trexer, I do note the car you drive. What powers this thing? Whoa whoa whoa. I must note the TGM and primal speedometer in the center between gauges for engine tachometer and boost gauge, and power meter since it's hybrid or PHEV. And speedometer for kilometers per hour and Kina nitros per choi. Yes, Ryo-S Cryptor. Anyhow, this car is powered by 1.6-liter turbocharged inline-4 and electric motors, as it's a plug-in hybrid, PHEV being a series parallel hybrid with multi-mode drive transmission. It have 3 electric motors, 1 front, 2 rear, a 4th acting as generator and starter, 5th for the E-assisted turbocharger. It have dual CVT, eCVT and mechanical, direct shift to radial direct CVT, alongside 8-speed automatic AMT transmission. Engine powers the front wheels. Yes, Trexer, this as I call it is Ryotronic transmission, same transmission on my RaptorMobile, however I do note the rev counter and speedometer being Eve. I do heard subject on car radio, what is tuned it? Radio audio silumcast of RDK TV, Ryo, on 95.00 MHz on FM band. I must remain in park for at least a minute or two, then shift to drive as I need to quickly get out my Trex phone and check on Trex Vision 8 via live stream. This is I to check Jinx Vision on Pocket Mate. Good thing Jinx Vision terminates the VWGT Silumcast and heads straight to JinxNet Silumcast. Yes, Ryo's Trex Vision 8 also does the same and airs Trex 8 News, and just now, RDK TV. Actually, Trexer, VWGT Silumcast paused until further word from RDK TV producers. Star from RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline News Center over at Studio RDD at the main HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Philatopia, with an RDK 3000 TriStar television service programming alert notice at 1341 RDK ELC. As a result of the VWGTcast, we are suspending VWGT Silumcast until at least after RDK 3000 TriStar today at 1600 hours RDK ELC. This is the live esports match gamer battle cannot be shown on RDK TV for Bops 25. Blast Open Spring 2025 Grand Finals of Vitality and Moose, in Altverse. That is only to be on the said channels within RDK TSR network, RDKG RDSP, on any of the 3 channels, codenamed the main, Omega and Alpha, in addition to radio coverage on RDK TSR Radio Service 2, and on SAP and multi-view of this channel, press audio or magic button. To repeat, we are suspending VWGT Silumcast until at least after RDK 3000 TriStar today at 1600 hours RDK ELC. This is the live esports match gamer battle cannot be shown on RDK TV for Bops 25. If there is any VWGT status updates, we to let ya know, as if the show gets to end for any reason even during the VWGT cast, we to end the Silumcast for the day. Silumcast on other networks KB.SDY, and Trony Explosive Vision, Arrow ESPnet and Ion Neo GR Bison gets preempted to devote coverage, while Jinx Vision and Trex Vision 8 has terminated the Silumcast at VWGTcast start. We to hand off to fellows from Zeno24 from Xenopolis City, Xenopolia until 1400 hours RDK ELC, then Illido News 24 Mil Silumcast, then RDK TSRT Blitz at 1500 hours. I am Mark E. Cryptor signing off. Goodbye.
This is RDK 3000 TriStar today. I am Chris K. Crypter.
And I am Mark E. Crypter, broadcasting live and direct from RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline News Center over at RDK 3000 TriStar Main HQ in Elite City, Federal District, Ilitopia.
We are powered up always. Always on all RDK networks, television, radio, streaming and more. The latest at this hour. Pre-dawn bomb threat at Alito Castle result in false alarm and arrests by the police. This device was found but no bomb, resulting in a huge confetti mess and lengthy cleanup.
New Smurfetians over celebrating Korhatapian New Year 24 hours ago after overnight police blitz, has been sentenced to death for violation of celebration ban. And we welcome back to VWGT, Virtual World and Gaming today on Aerovision. I am Robert James.
I am Mark J. Phelps.
I am Melissa Katzenschen.
We are broadcasting live at Elitotronics Telemedia in Elite City, Ilitopia. We begin with the top story being the false bomb threat at Alito Castle. 2 Alito College students were arrested after false bomb threat at Alito Castle. This device was placed via drone around 0630 hours RDKELC at Alito Wizard and Princess Omega sleeping area, then the phone call came in several minutes later. The Alito Castle alarm was sounded as the facility was evacuated, in which yielded RDKTSR code R and roll call alarm, as it was breaking news back then. However, the all clear was given before 0700 hours. Authorities discover a device turned out no bomb but spawned out confetti, resulting in a mess as that took a lengthy cleanup. The students face expulsion and permanent bans from RDK 3000 TriStar and Alito Plaza Center. The emergency call came in at 0645 as multiple agencies respond in mass units. We are joined with Sean Edward Shaw from Alito News 24-DEK Mill, since our RDK Newsline correspondent is unavailable to cover from Alito Castle at this time.
Yes, this cleanup gets finished at 12 o'clock p.m. ELC. This it's some sort of early April Fool's prank. This is a result of the incident. The Alito Police has increased patrols to prevent further pranks to Alito Castle and of course Alito Wizard and Princess Omega, as drone radars to be implemented in the coming few hours along with police drones for surveillance and such. This is even the most classic April Fool's prank at Alito Castle can yield big trouble to the prankster, leading to detain and arrests, as the duos must be kept protected. However, must note subject unrelated, as Princess Omega and Alito Wizard are with 2 of the RDK 3000 TriStar personnel. Rex Z Crypter and Ryo S Crypter discussing on event tomorrow evening at 8 o'clock p.m. Elite City, 0.0 EMT, 0000 TRX.
No wonder, even his relative from Bloxland, who was born Trexlandian, who manages Trex builders, even run Trex computer core, gets oofed. Terminated by Blox mods and Trex builders shut down and Trex computer core seized and forced a meltdown in which exploded at 0900 hours with core and facility destroyed, on an island. Yes, Trexer, as Ryo note, his cousin, who's Kanbor-D immigrant from Trexland, gets arrested by Kanbor police on contributions to the stunt. This is before the annexation of Trexland. One fellow moved to Bloxland, another went to Kanbor-D Federation Republic to study at Kanbor University, while the 2 others went to Ilitopia to study at Alito College, for remainder of term, who used to study at Trex University. However, Trexer do note, this before 1500 hours, Alito Wizard and Princess Omega said the phrase in Elitish being secondary and native language in Ilitopia as primary is English, as he said that the duos to give salute of the HNM Ryo-Dozz+Trex in a light show tomorrow evening at 2000 hours. Choi and Desi Newt 0, Crown and Kron 0, Ultora and Minero 0, 00Z. Yes, this is no wonder. The Elitish word for Trex is Trix, and the word Ryo is the same for English and Elitish. This is Alito Wizard is next to the correspondent, as the duos are on TV on RDKTSRT. However, I do note, Map 4 is to Slate inbound, Moose is 1 win away. However, I hope Vitality to stop Moose to tie it up and force Map 5, Prehups Map 5, as well to win. Yes, Trexer, no wonder they use our countdown video, for the VWGTCast Countdown with different music. This while I keep an ear on RDK TV, as I start live stream and checking the time on the Illita clocks. Eve, blast 10-second esports countdown on pair with the VWGTCast Countdown video.
This is subjects must not be repeated, as any pranks toward Happy New Month Trex and Ryo duodecimal on Quad This, Gamma 30th, EY 1025, EV 090, and evening of Monday, March 31st, 2025, 2000 Elite City Civil, 00.0 EMT, 0000 TRX, to be dealt seriously in a harsher response.
This being Alpha Quadrix Trex year 25, Trin Zion / Tria Zion Ryo-Dozz year 4-7 or 55.
That was the Illita Wizard. Thank God for the English interpreter on standby. This is the two personnel is denied bail and to appear in court in Elite City's Heritage District on Thursday in Nullita's afternoon on initial day of Delta, EY 1025, ED 092 and April 3, 2025. I am Sean Edward Shaw from Illito News 24 Deck Mill, reporting for RDKTSRT via RDK 3000 TriStar RDK Newsline, at Illito Castle west of Elite City, Federal District, Elitopia. Back to you.
That was Illito News 24 Deck Mill correspondent Sean Edward Shaw live at Illito Castle. This in addition, their banned travel from outside Elitopia as the Tronic Diamond Court has learned on subject and has ordered social media to terminate their accounts but keep the data records to hand over to the authorities.
This also to Elitocom Telecom to terminate services as per order by TD Court, and the tenant at apartment they rent, to terminate the rent in which word since midday, the authorities evict the relatives by force and seize the items in which some may be handed over to Elite City Police, Illitopian Federal Police and / or EBI for evidence concerning devices in which to be searched for clues. This is we want to welcome to the viewers of Aerovision, as the VWGTcast has went foul on the esports of Vitality and Muz on Bops 25 ends up silumcast of RDK TV. However Illito GRESP has told Aero that VWGT appease odd to conclude and reassign the hosts since the match is trending and popular, however requests to continue the RDKTSRT silumcast toward Aero News 5 o'clock and move the match coverage to Aero Breeze. As VWGT episode need to prematurely end as it was outlined on Aero's end. I am Mark E. Crypter and this is Chris K. Crypter from Studio RDE.
This is the match coverage on Aerobreeze begun at VWGT episode start at 1100 RDKELC. This is we move on to other news. This over in Newsmerfedia this is folks who celebrate the Corgitopian New Year of 988 CJE in violation of celebration ban, get sentenced to death. However some get life imprisonment.
Good grief. VWGT episode gets cut short this after RDK TV terminates the VWGT silumcast, despite earlier warnings from Deputy Leader Milos Z. Crypter and Zen Z. Crypter to never use our countdown video without permission, for other purpose this as VWG2N production is banned. Yes, Ryo, this for tonight only, as they learn not to wrongfully distribute our work, however the DSE and DSR have given us permission, and the party picketing firms, to use our countdown videos for the event tomorrow evening. Correct, this also goes for Happy New Month Kanbor-D Quartz and KB.P20 as we give RDK 3000 TriStar Kanbor-D unit division authorization to use it even modify including subject at end of countdown for mention of HNM Quartzen. Do I hear some music? Checking the time. Yuck. The MCHE Screamer Triple L stunt has went foul, result in music, this timed on TRIPLE-DEK on Kanbor-spinel countdown to new Kanbor month quartz and KB.P20, this in Kanbor before the switch, is Triple E, now is Triple L, however, in TD is Triple A, Ryo is Triple 3's upside down. Alternate being Triple Sigma. The music in subject being the classic Wheel of Fortune remix, believed to be Countdown remix variant with the 18K Alito Mile Odo 60-minute version from BGC video from ST. In fact, I do expect this to happen, Trexer, but I do not expect on the timing on when the music start, as I suggest we start this music for the Trex and Ryo-Dozz at T-Gros Dunatims, 60 minutes, 5.0 in decimal, 100 deci-newts, 4.166 choi at 1900 hours. With a separate 5 choi version at 930 sine, 950 deci, at choi 95, 1848. Separate countdown in what, Ryo? Trocant style, Trexer. Yes, Ryo, this being 50,000 Trocant Tronic countdown, full 60-minute version of this and the RDKF 30-minute countdown at 1930. Yes, this is Mark-X Crypter, Evie, Mark Zarkshaw do learn of this. This is Zenzi Crypter has started the music as he authorized to play it in certain areas of RDK main HQ and most areas of Alito Plaza Center, however he planned a surprise to start at Triple L on Kanbor-spinel countdown to HNM Can. Oh my god. That is sure epic intense high-speed drift. Maybe we should head to Elite City to put on a show for HNM Ryo-Dozz+Trex.
Yes. That is already on the agenda as we depart after 3. But no later than Choi 80, as we depart from Savage City. From Savage Speedway.
This is CloudDeck to make visit it. Apologies for interruption, this is some semi-nude female tried to expose breasts toward the camera, as I stop her and Trex her off cam, this occurring on TRIPLE-DEK on Kanbor-spinel countdown to the HNM Kanbor, in TD Alito is Triple A, in Ryo is Triple upside down 2, in alternate is Triple Chi. However in Kanbor, Zalen mandates being Triple Z, otherwise is TRIPLE-X, in which TRIPLE-X otherwise refers to magic symbol for X gaming and CloudDeck esports, but most importantly refers to porn, sexuality, and other adult 18+ NSFW content that is highly disallowed. Outright banned on television during live broadcasts that is not rated EL-18 or TD-X. In addition to KBRS, 18 and Kanbordian. Good thing one of the officers from Elite City Police who was walking around noted it and quickly arrest the semi-nude female as she gets karma by the cops. This is its blatant violation of abuse to Kanbor-spinel doza timekeeping on TRIPLE-DEK Act. Thank God, Arrow took action in timely manner to cut to clock ident while monitoring the situation to Arrow MCA.
Not only being abused to Kanbor-spinel and duodecimal timekeeping on TRIPLE-DEK Act on obscene incident on nudity exposing the bare breasts, but in front of the squad in diapers. In addition to the TV camera, it's also a violation to Casper's law, as the squad had a blowout as they were severely offended. One LAN party participant smelled the odor and went toward Casper, in which he to end Casper, as he tried to punch Casper but missed by inches, hitting the dog that you own, named Gold, in which bites him in response. However, the person also gets arrested by police. Also facing perma-ban from RDK 3000 TriStar in Alito Plaza Center. He to serve life imprisonment.
Yes, as the squad are off to Operation Bumblebee then recalled back to RDK 3000 TriStar main HQ, the female normally to spend 5 Kanbor-spinel and Ryo-Dozz+ years in jail on top of penalty of indecency exposure. However, since she violates Casper's law, she also to face life in jail. As Max Zarkers, being co-owner of Gold, escorts the dog outside to his car. This is once the person named Steve who hates furries in diapers tried to punch Casper numerous times, even attempt to bash at him and try to kill him, but missed as he punches at my dog Gold, being Dalmatian, adopted from animal shelter last week, 1 year old, 7 in dog years. In which Gold bites Steve, even attacks him in stern response as Max Zarkshaw co-owns the dog, as he told Steve not to mess with Casper, even Gold the dog, as he fights back in response.
Mark-X Cryptor, remark on your dog. The dog is the same breed as my and Marky Cryptor's dog, named Oreo, being a male canine. Is your canine a male or female? I tried to message my friend in which he was part of X Gaming when he depart from the esports team only to volunteer at RDK 3000 TriStar, but he is unavailable.
Scott Ilitistar, it's a she, co-owner Max Zarkshaw. Ivo is driving and cannot be messaged while he is driving his car. Call his cell instead. Not via video call, or voice call via IM application, ZChat, or Rascord, etc. Open phone app, dial the number or head to contacts, select Ivo, call his cell. Max is in Uttamai in his house to drop off the dog, then he to head to Alito Mall. Evie, good choice for the former esports player of X Gaming who to become part of RDK 3000 TriStar. He should note one boutique there in which that interests him, as that gets reviewed last hour on VWGT and Alito GRESP. Raymond Blake, he is not heading to the boutique in specific, he is heading to pet supplies store for something for his dog Gold. And he adopted the dog in the past week. Must check the time, gosh, 14:38, I must have to head back to RDK 3000 TriStar main headquarters, Operation Bumblebee must be finished already. Trexer, I heard what Marky Cryptor mentions on his dog Gold. I have met her at the lobby this morning as she is nice to the R3 Trex kids, in which unfortunately needs to head back after such event started off with TRIPLE-DEK stunt. Led to diaper blowout, then furry diaper hater tried to attack Casper but toward Mark's dog? Yes, Ryo, as the dog takes action in response, as she takes it seriously, as that means serious business, not to mess with the squad, even the dog.
I must note that Max has dropped off my dog at the Zarkshaws as I received phone call from SE Stars Plays on the playoff announcement of the Razzle-Dazzle tournament, as he to email me the details. This is I to head to Alito Mall to the pet supply shop for something to Gold. This is once I see Steve punching as he missed Casper but onto Gold, she goes on to the attack in response. So severe, he would need to see a doctor, even rushing to the hospital if needed before being booked at police station. This as I had to immediately escort Gold outside to my car to drop her off at home. This as I am back on Kanbor Street as I to head to, for some reason, friend Daniel AKT was driving his 2025 EY 1025 Flex Trex Roadster PHEV plug-in hybrid this morning. Now he switched to his 1986 EYO 986 Toyota AE86 Sprinter Trevino GT Apex, but customized.
Max Zarkshaw?
Yes, Daniel AKT?
Yes, as I am driving this for now. This is my other car, Trex Roadster PHEV. Have a low battery as EV range is used up after drive to Savage City and Axidal to Meritus City and back, but plenty of gas. As it is being charged up as my sport electric motorbike is charged up as I to ride it next hour, as I have to drive my AE86 for now. This is Max Zarkshaw has made a turn north to Alito Mall, as I to head east, as I to head to Alito Burgers to the drive-through. Driving past some establishments, Kanbor Telemedia Elitopian Bureau, KBMC Elitopian Bureau, toward Delta 6, but I am not stopping at D6. Going past Chicken Hut but to make stop later on once I go other way, and going toward Alito Plaza Center, and the A6, this while. Whoa. Must pull aside to note what's going on as I check my watch. Oh my god, the females at A6 are nude.
Let's get naked and have sex naked toward them. Next TRIPLE-X at 9, 4X, double X, Kanbor-spinel duodecimal time 1 second.
That douche.
Reports on KB.P20.
That is against the law, as I am calling the cops on myself, or as it's a TRIPLE-DEK Act violation, as I had to pull aside. This as I am putting it in neutral and yank at the handbrake to engage the parking brake. Getting out my Z-Mobi flip phone, and calling 777, to get the hold of ECPD. Is this Elite City Police? I am Daniel Aogontroni Eriser as my cell number is 552497342255. I reside in Elite City. There is intense exposure going on at the A6, El Alarma 6, the Alarm 6, the address for the place, 99 Kanbortronics Street West in Elite City, Federal District. Synergy Republic of Elitopia, across the street from Elito Plaza Center, some females nude having sex inside restaurant with some males, in which all parties involved are nude. What? Already reported by the waiter? Okay, are the police en route? Okay, I want to add, as this occurs starting on the 7/3/10, 10/10, SGT, you know, the last 3 digits in duodecimal timekeeping mode based on second of 10 by 60 by 144 in universal time, TRIPLE-DEK, being TRIPLE-X in Kanbor, triple A being TRIPLE-DEK act. I must note, the females even pulled the cord to deploy the ladder stairs and the 6 fellows went up to the roof to go blitz on the rooftop, in which is a stupid idea, although may not be seen from fellows on the ground, but can be spotted via drones with cameras or from someone at 2nd floor or above, or rooftop at adjacent building, or via binoculars from personnel at RDK 3000 TriStar main HQ, or via street cam in which on air on TV network JinxNet. Led to auto censor by Elitotronics Telemedia automatic AI censor system for nudity and sex during current programming break.
I am Mark J. Phelps.
I am Melissa Katzenschen.
I am Robert James. VWGT, Virtual World and Gaming today on Aerovision. We'll be right back. Stay with VWGT. We'll be right back after ad break from sponsors. There is something going on at 7/3D, TRIPLE-DEK. This being some annoyance regarding very loud audio, at the A6, this being TRIPLE-L act, after TRIPLE-DEK act. Welcome back to VWGT. I am Mark Elito Trap from Elito GRESP. We are just 15 minutes toward HNM Kanbor Quartz and Kanbor Year 20, toward final 10k tokens. We must inform of subject in which just ended as we heard the A6 bell from across the street as we learn of the Minecraft game chap Herobrine Screamer that was present. Good thing it did not gets playing at the EDA, however gets playing at another area, not at Elito Plaza Center but at El Alarma 6, the Alarm 6, the Code MCHE event with the Herobrine visual in all of the TVs of the A6, as it occurred at 7/3L, TRIPLE-L, SGT. 2:43 PM Elite City and 11 seconds, however it has been cleared within seconds, as the stereo system was unplugged by the staff and the TVs were turned off. The subject was originated from the patio in which result in car alarms. The e-screamer occurred shortly the cops arrive, as they swiftly arrest person responsible along with the females who did sex with males on the rooftop in which was brought down by the staff via ladder. The e-screamer also led to intruder alarms at one residence, at D6, at Chicken Hut at Delta 6, and at Kanbor Telemedia International Elitopian Bureau and at Kanbortronics Hub Elite City. Since the subject gets cleared, I Ryo am hungry. Maybe we could get a taco wrap to go. This is Zalen Relixina, why you made visit to Elite City from Kanbor City.
You cannot go inside the plaza as the area is -IBM and to be punished in violation in abuse of Kanbor-spinel and duodecimal timekeeping in the TRIPLE-DEK and DEL Act. However, it also violation of abuse to the tronic diamond timekeeping alternate as well. The -IBM and to be seized and shut down forever after 012 kbts, 800 Kyatrokens, 1512 local. I to go inside to tell them.
Zalen, I the Elito Wizard and Princess Omega have authorization, as you should go back to Kanbor City, as I to say to the fellows as you mentioned, violation of TD alt timekeeping.
Alright, if you insist.
In this case, Ryo, we to have chicken wraps instead at Chicken Hut, as fellows from what used to be Trex Chicken and what used to be Trex City, Trex Land, now is Elite City's Trex District, is at work at Chicken Hut, as we to cross the street. Good idea, Trexer.
It's not an esports match but a showcase of a video game to be launched in the next week. This is once the clock strikes 3, there to be a trailer in which to be showcased on VWGT. However, if anything comes up that led to episode production halt, to be on Elito GRESP, with a VWG2N cast of gameplay and VIP release planned in tonight's VWG2N. This as the trailer also to be showcased on Video Monitor.
Are we on air? Thank you. I am Mark Z Cryptor, Raptor, Mark Zaniels from RDK 3000 TriStar, Eve. There has been a TRIPLE-DEK act, but thank God arrow swiftly cuts to me soon enough, thanks to quick action as it occurred on the last 3 digits of RDZD-D at TRIPLE-DEK in which being triple upside down 2, or AAA. While in Kanbor, supposed to be triple Z but is XXX. This as stated earlier, the XXX refers to naughty things disallowed in live broadcast airing as I to fill in for him for the time being. This as he said, that there is to be some feature to occur at the top of the hour during the LAN party, to occur at 1500 hours RDKELC, to be held at Elito DG Arena, as it's not the HNM Kanbor nor the other subject at 2000 hours RDKELC this evening as it does not even involve esports. We better pause, in an event of triple L in countdown and clock in primal as the mic to be muted, stand by. Thank God, result in music. This as the said music is cue that the subject is confirmed at top of the hour, as it's not another e-screamer being code MCHEAC. This is for the other subject occurred earlier, the female was caught by security seconds after feed switch and gets escorted out. Anyhow, for those wondering on the whereabouts of the VWGT hosts and Andrew James, well, Andrew James has been reassigned to cover for Elito News 24 Mil. Excuse me, I needs to head back to RDKTS our main HQ. Substitute to cover for me. We hand off to RDK TV if he does not show up at 1451 ELC and 0. That was the report from downtown Kanbor-D City by the fellows at KB KipNet News, part of KIP HWT Net 4 News Suite. VWGT episode terminated.
Stand by for a programming alert. This is an RDK 3000 TriStar and Arrow programming alert. Today's episode of VWGT needs to conclude. This due to on-air incident involving nudity, as that is blatant on-air violation. This as it was timed to the TRIPLE-DEK Act in Ryo-Dozz timekeeping based on day. On T-TRIPLE-DEK on Ryo duodecimal countdown type D. To new Kanborman, in Alito and TD is AAA. In Ryo as triple-twos upside down, while in Kanbor, despite guidance to be triple Z. Being XXX as XXX refers to subject 18 plus and NSFW in reference to pornography, sex, sexuality, nudity, sexual content, and adult content in which subjects gets prohibited to be aired on live television broadcast in accordance to ELRTC and TDTCA broadcast law. This was shown only on Aerovision and silumcast on Aerobreeze during VWGT Extra, in which sets off RDK 3000 TriStar automatic AI sensor system on RDK GRESP Omega and silumcast terminated. As silumcast was also terminated on Alito GRESP News 24 deck mill as their auto sensor was tripped. This while distributors was under programming break and RDK TV pausing silumcast for RDK Countdown watch, in which silumcast to be terminated as a result. VWGT hosts has been reassigned to cover for Alito GRESP.
VWG2N Extra on Aerobreeze to be preempted as per ABM and INMC request to silumcast Annex 24 on Countdown to HNM Ryo-Dozz+Trex, as VWG2N to be airing tonight on Aero but will not be silumcast on RDK TV.
RDK 3000 TriStar today in airing on RDK TV and in silumcast on Aerovision and Aerobreeze starts now. This preceding RDK vid program was a presentation of RDK-VSP, a presentation of RDK-VSP. This has been an RDK 3000 TriStar Video Studio production presentation.